Hey Sam, how are you?
Hey.
Oh, for people who don't know, just to be in full transparency, Sam is actually family. Sam, you're not only the IT educator for Fairfax County. I wanted to talk to you on the Silver Lining series because you have a passion not only for the digital world but for education, school, and community. And
Absolutely. Yeah. That's been my
and
focus for 30 years.
Absolutely. And it's we're such in a very different age right now with this pandemic. But before we get started, I've got to ask, how are you doing? How are you? How's the family? How's everyone doing?
Things are good, actually. It has been, I mean, as you're well aware, this
Mhm.
transition from my leaving my life and my career as a public high school teacher in northern Pennsylvania and moving in with your sister. We
Mhm.
got married on December 24th, and I moved down here without a job, without anything lined up, took the plunge,
Hey.
as they say. And within a week of being here, one of the gigs that I was interviewing for came through, and I got a job.
Mhm.
And it's nowhere near in terms of it's public service, so it's really not a high paying
Mhm.
gig.
Mhm.
But it's solid, and it's been absolutely fabulous. And strangely enough, the timing of all this was really kind of amazing, because you say what strange times that we're in. We've moved
Mhm.
in our society into these weird times. You know what? Welcome to my universe. You know,
Mhm.
this I've been operating in the digital domain for as long as there has been a digital media domain. So for me, having to communicate this way and to teach this way and to do business this way, this is old hat for me. So I transitioned all this great. I mean, the weird part is what's happening in our society, and,
Right.
and
Right.
the economic impact and all of that.
It's community impact too, because you're still working. You're out there in the community.
Yeah.
What's been the response? How are people feeling?
Well, I mean, of course, I'm in Fairfax County, which is one of the most populous counties in the country, and
Mhm.
right outside DC. So I got this job as a an information technology educator in one of the community centers down here, and running a technology after school program. And there's 14 different community centers here. And my first day was walking into a emergency management meeting where they announced that everything was closed due to the pandemic.
Wow.
So it was like, welcome to the jumping off the deep end again. For me, and I'll talk a little bit about work and what's been happening at the county level, and then where we are in society here as a whole,
Mhm.
from what I've noticed and what I've seen. Um, so that was immediately the centers are closed. So the kids and the families and the program that you were running, there are no people in the buildings to service. So that was pretty weird.
Yeah.
Well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We have all these employees, the whole division of our county having to transition. And what we're
Mhm.
doing is we're going virtual. We're taking the activities and the education and the things that we would normally be doing
Mhm.
in person in the centers, and we're transitioning to virtual. So
Wow.
I'm part of actually a county-wide team that's taking our whole agency virtual and leading the video effort in producing high quality video content and reaching out to our service, or the communities that we service,
Mhm.
putting the local people in touch with their local communities, so we can continue to be there for them. Many of these
Yeah.
people have been here for many, many, many years, and the kids miss them, and
Yeah.
they're locked up and they're at home, and they can't come into the centers and have fun with them
Yeah.
anymore. And we're able, it's sort of a blessing in disguise, in that I was able to bring my talent and my expertise to this agency to help them do this on a county-wide level. And it's really amazing what's happening right now. We got a whole new initiative county-wide that's being launched on May 15th called NCS Connects. It's neighborhood and community services is what it is, where we're
Right.
connecting, again, the people from all 14 centers with the community through a whole new division on the county website and video outreach. It's really a phenomenal effort. So in that respect, it's been great. You know, weird, big transition, of course. It's very strange living, as you know, in a major metropolitan area in this time. The lack of traffic and the ghost town feel is really weird. Then, you know, one of the reasons why I was excited to move down here was cultural opportunities, you know, being a musician, get out and start gigging, the weather being nice. So of course, all of that's on hold.
And I know that's something, because
it's bizarre. But as far as me, to answer your question, as far as me and your sister, we're happy, we're healthy. Things have been going well for us personally. You know, we're just waiting it out and seeing what's going to happen. And honestly, Jodine, you know, the people around here that I've run into seem to be just moving along as best they can, and generally pretty good spirits. You know, grocery stores are holding up okay. It's not chaos, that's for sure.
Good. Yeah. And you brought up something that I know is kind of like it hurts both me and you, as I'm a live music advocate and you are a live music musician. The whole idea of no concerts, no shows, no public gatherings for live music. How do you overcome that, or do you overcome that, or how do you feel about that? Because
I mean, as somebody who's been on a stage and fronted a band and you know, fed off of that energy of the live performance, as well as the you know, the audience. There's nothing in the world that can replace that, you know. And for me, you don't, you know, you can't replace that. I mean, I can sit here and grab my guitar and sing a song for you and, you know, get nice kudos and people saying, hey, via Facebook and whatnot. And a lot of musicians are doing that, of course, where everybody's going virtual now. You don't have a choice, but there's really, I mean, there's no doubt about it. You know, if music and performance and connecting with people is in your soul, this is the next best thing to live, even what we're doing right now, but it's not live.
Right.
And I know for me, it was a heartbreak, because I was really looking forward to this, getting down here and getting out, you know, getting outside and playing at some of the nice venues here, maybe do some festivals and whatnot. And it was, you know, I mean, obviously got to get in line and wait, because that ain't happening this year.
Right. It's not happening, but you do have an opportunity, and you have created an opportunity specifically online to perform, to keep strumming on that guitar with your audience on Facebook. How's that been going for you? And is that something that you would suggest other musicians and artists do as they try to navigate with no live performances for probably the rest of the year until?
I mean, I've made my career out of not just performing and producing digital media in general, but for the past 12 years, I've been a teacher in this, as a teacher and as a community, I would call it myself a digital activist, I guess. You know, I've set up a community where I lived before I helped found our Education and Government TV channel, and really trying to empower people to use these technologies. So as I said from the beginning here of our conversation, the little pre-interview that we did, you know, for me, that message, get out there, use these technologies to make your world a better place, I should say, to reach people, to touch people. These technologies are there. They're easy. They're more affordable and much more powerful than ever before in our history. And I've always encouraged that. So again, for me, that's not a new message. I would say seize this opportunity to do so, however, but, you know, and if you need help, I mean, my God, you can, I tell my students this all the time. You don't need me. I mean, I'll be your greatest coach and your greatest advocate and get out there and help you learn how to learn. But anything as far as technology and performance online that you want to learn, it's available on YouTube. So get out there. There is no better time than now to start.
Mhm.
If you have a message that and talent that you have been blessed with, you know, take this
Mhm.
opportunity to share it with people. Just like what it was so cool when you told me what you were doing here with your show. You know,
Yeah.
you're a living example of that. You're embodying that. You took that opportunity. Your venues were shut down, and you said, "I got something to say, and I'm going to say it." And hence the silver lining. So, yeah, you know, that was a long way around to say, "Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it." Right?
Absolutely. And I love it because you've also done it for kids, at risk kids, the youth.
Absolutely.
Um, you've done it for communities, you know, the disabled, people who, you know, compromised, but you constantly tell folks to get online and to do it. They have a voice.
Absolutely. I mean, we as human beings, we're not accidents. I mean, you know what my spiritual beliefs are, Jodine,
Hmm.
and I believe we were planned, we were created, and it's in our DNA. And just like the oak was created to be an oak tree, and a maple was created to be a maple tree, and a tomato is a tomato, and a pepper is a pepper,
Right.
it's at a molecular level, and that is what we are, and who we are, and what we do, and what we were put on this planet to do. I
Right.
really firmly believe that. I've seen evidence of that in my life manifest. And I know this for a fact for me. Now, I believe everybody watching out there, you have that in you as well. And it's just a simple matter, I think, of finding that quiet space and listening to yourself and looking at your life and your individuality. What is it that you naturally excel at? Right? Where are your natural proclivities? You enjoy whatever it might be, art, performance, music. And then where are your natural abilities? Where do they lie? And you take a look at that, and it's that one thing that you could imagine doing every day when you got up out of bed and you put those feet on the floor, regardless of whether you were being paid or not. If you would do that thing simply for joy and for love, that's what you should be doing. And focus on that. And if you're not that great at it, but you love it, then get great at it. Keep practicing. Keep doing it. 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 Any success story is going to tell you, you know, overnight success. I mean, those are really far between.
Anomalies, right? Like they're far and few between.
Absolutely. Most people, most musicians, most artists, people out there that have, you know, they come on the scene. They had 8 or 9 albums before that. You know,
Right.
Milton Hershey, you know, the Hershey Empire went bankrupt several times before he finally hit it. I mean, you just keep doing it. I'm not where I want to be in my career in terms of performance and art and whatnot. Even with my talent that I have, I'm not where I want to be. But you know what? That doesn't stop me. I mean, there's times you just got to keep doing it, keep putting it out there. And here's the key, not just for you, but for the benefit of other people. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten off a stage and a particular set didn't go well, you know, and I'm going, man, that just sucked. Really didn't sound good. We weren't in sync. It just, the vibe wasn't there with the band. And we go down and somebody comes up afterwards and goes, dude, I was crying. That was amazing. You've never sounded better. I'm like, what? You know, in my mind and in my headspace at the time as the performer and the channel for that energy and that music, it didn't translate, whatever. But it did to them. You know, and I think we need to remember that as we're going virtual like this. You said, can I advise people to do it? Absolutely. And don't worry of who's going to get it, who's not going to get it, who's going to give you kudos, who's not going to give you kudos. Put the love out there, put the positivity out there. Again, I go back to you as an example, just like you're doing with this show and the wonderful people that you're having on. Keep doing it.
I need it. I think you were supposed to be talking to me today. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for that.
You know what? Somebody said to me when I was, I mean, this was a big deal for me to quit my teaching job and my small business that I've had up there. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time and I was really well set. So to leave my life, leave my little house, leave everything I knew, and move down here to the city and rekindle this aspect of my life. This was a big step. And somebody said to me, caught me before I left, and he said, Sam, you know, God's got a plan for you. And the best thing that you can do is go back to your roots, be who you know you were created to be, and
Right.
don't worry about how that manifests and what that outcome of the effort or time is going to be. You just be who he created you to be, do what it was that he created you to do,
Right.
and the details are going to hash out, you know? And I took that advice from him and threw everything and came down here, and it's been absolutely an incredible journey. And I've seen that happen in other people's lives as well. The key is being genuine and being you, and any talent. Jodine, there's millions of people on this planet that can do what you do, that possess your level of talent, your level of expertise.
Mm-hmm.
They have the same package. There's many guitar players out there that can play way better than me. Many singers that can play way better than me. More videographers out there that can make videos and documentary films and build websites way better than me.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only one me. There's only one you. And anybody listening, get that through your head, and you will experience success that comes to you in ways that you can't explain until you see it manifest. If you're being genuine and authentic to who you are and what your natural talents are, the way will show the way. And you're doing it through a spirit of thankfulness. It's going to work. You just got to not give up.
Sam, you brought this up a couple of times, and I want to dig a little bit deeper into this. How important is faith here, your spirituality? Can you explain that element to the complete package that you're talking to?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, it's everything, because that goes to the core of again, the very nature of our creation and the very nature of the universe. And for me, that belief in as a Christian, I walk that as not just, how do I want to say this? For me, I quite literally 2 years ago went out west on a soul journey, razor's edge type thing, climbed a mountain, literally, and and came to God. I said, you know, my life's not working. This is it. This is where I'm at. And I got no choice, because whatever I'm doing, it ain't working, right? So I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to follow the path. I'm going to follow the regimen that I've always been taught. And I truly am going to humble myself and say, you take my life. You wanted it. You take it. Do with me what you want. I'll go where you want me to go. I'll say what you want me to say. I'll do what you want me to do. He said, go home, tell your story. And from that point, my whole life changed in ways that I can't. My God, I got to write a book or make a movie about this. So again, for me, how important is it? I've seen it. And somebody said to me, well, Sam, you know, I knew you 15 years ago, and you said you were a Christian and your faith was important to you. And I said, yeah, but you know what? Here's the difference. Here's what I noticed was I realized I was intellectualizing my faith. For me, I was looking at the concept of the Christ, a man, embodiment of the creator on earth, that whole Trinity thing, all that stuff. I had been taking that, intellectualizing it, and saying, yeah, it makes sense. I get it. I subscribe to the theory, and I accept it, right? So I did that verbally, and I intellectualized, and it made sense to me in my head.
Right.
But I realized, until I humbled myself and truly just opened up my heart and said, take it, I wasn't plugging into the source. You know, I recognized at that time that for me to see that activated, it's like, how do I want to say this? When the light came on and he took hold of me, it shook me upside down, said, okay, son, You want him? You offered. I'm going to take it. He shook me upside down, shook everything out of my pocket, slapped me around a little bit, put me back on the path, and said, "Now go do this." And I did. And from that moment, magic happened. And I liken it to this: have you ever spring cleaned in a house, right? And you come into the empty room. Maybe you were painting a house. You're painting your room, right? Whatever. And you cleared it out and you put the work lights on. And everything was really bright in there. And it was a dark room before. And all of a sudden, you're looking up and you're going, my God, I didn't realize how dirty it was. Look at how that air vent had darkened that part of the room. Ceiling. Look at the cobwebs that I didn't even know that existed before because I was living in that half light.
Right.
So all of a sudden, it all made sense. And the perspective changed. My place in this mechanism that we call life changed. And I recognized for just a split second that it's one thing to say I get it, and it's another thing to do what you always understand get it means. But it's
right, exactly.
But it's quite another thing then to humble yourself completely and allow this being that you say you believe in to actually enter into you as a source of energy flow in through you and out through you to others. This is a complete, and that was the fundamental difference for me. I realized I hadn't been living my life. I hadn't been using my talents. I hadn't been taking what it was that God gave me and exuding it to the world for the purpose of other people. I was doing it for my own purposes, whatever they may be at the time. Dealing with addiction issues that I had at the time, or dealing with ego trips that I was going through, whatever. We all got our thing, right? But for the first time in my life, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I recognize that God made me to be whatever. Maybe you're a lamp. Maybe Esther is a fan. Maybe I'm a microphone, right? Whatever. We have a purpose. We have a creation, and we fit into that. And I recognize that if I take that lamp and I plug it into the outlet, if the electricity's on, that lamp's going to light up and it's gonna light to those that need it. If I plug in an electric fan, the energy is going to flow, and through the positive polarity, it's going to turn the rotors. The fan's going to move the air. It's going to do what it was created to do, and it's going to provide what? Cool air to those who need it. Right? So, are you a fan? Are you a light? Are you a stove? What were you created to be? Are you an apple tree? A pear tree? A maple tree? Right? What were you created to be? The power plant providing the electricity is God. The conduit, in my mind, my way of thinking, and what I've seen is the Christ. You plug into that, the energy flows, it bear fruit. And that's the magic. And that's what I've seen happen in my life. Nobody can tell me any different. The stuff that I have seen manifest, the miracles manifest in my life, and since I met your sister and fell in love with her, has been nothing short of miraculous. And I'm on this mission to tell the world about it.
I love it. I love it. Last question I've got to ask you, Sam. During this pandemic, through these strange times, as I like to refer to it,
strange as
strange it is, do you see a silver lining in it all?
Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. And you know what? We can go back to technology again as a digital advocate and somebody who has said all along, use your talents, package it up, get out there, get on YouTube, use your voice, speak, do it, entertain, whatever it was. More people now are finding their voice. And again, I go back and I utilize you as an example. Why didn't you do this a year ago? Because you didn't have to. you could get all dolled up and you could go to one of your fancy venues and you can meet people and you could press the flesh and you can hug and you can talk and you could stay within 6 feet of other human beings.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You didn't need to do this back then. So out of necessity, you found your voice. You found a technology that works for you, and you're now able to reach people around the globe. So yeah, these are weird times. Certainly virtual technologies are not a replacement. Well, hello, little man.
I love
Certainly
it.
virtual technologies aren't a replacement for human contact. Of course
Right.
they're not. But if there's any silver lining in this, in terms of my thought processes, number one, it's getting people to recognize what was really important in life.
Right.
Okay? Loss of jobs, loss of income, scary times economically really makes you stop and put things in perspective, doesn't it? As to what do I really spending money on? Where am I really spending my time and my resources? It's bringing families together.
Yeah.
So with all of the negativity in regards to the downside of all of this craziness,
Right.
the fact that people are coming back to and questioning and coming back to their creator, they're meeting at a family level on a regular basis. They're getting innovative and finding new ways to communicate and stretching outside of their normal
Right. mode
of expression and gathering. Maybe they're rekindling an entrepreneurial spirit that they've had before, because that job that they were in for so many years, that kept them comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? Now they
Right.
have no choice but to think outside that box and push the envelope a little bit. This is sparking innovation. And I really believe that if it doesn't spin continually out of control, that we're going to see a lot of people rise up from this and take this opportunity to start businesses, to again, going back to you, doing exactly what you did. You said, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and take it laying down. I got something to say. I'm going to learn these new technologies and I'm going to make my voice heard. And I think that is the silver lining in this. You're embodying this. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So, you know,
this is exactly, I mean, you hit it on the head. You hit it on the head. And I love it. I love it because people are finding their voices. People are being innovative and creative at this time. And I'm really looking forward to the other side, to seeing what this gives birth to. I think it's going to be beautiful.
I agree. I agree. And the side of me that is getting to be more familiar with God's word, and over the years I've studied and been fascinated by eschatology and the whole end times prophecies and all that. You know, you can't look at the headlines and not go, you know, I mean, I whether you believe it or not is one thing, but it's uncanny what's happening here.
Yeah.
And for me, I look at it go, and ultimately, no matter where, ultimately, the big guy has got it all worked out, and nothing I can do or say is going to change it. So all I can do is be the best me I can be and stay plugged into that conduit and hope that spirit continues to work through me and affect my world for good. Ultimately, that's all I can do. That's all any of us can do, is be the best me that we can be, right?
Right.
So that's it. So where we're going to end up, ultimately, on the other side, I'm with you. It's going to be a beautiful place. It's going to be a beautiful space, and it's going to be a new world. There may be some ugliness and difficulty to get there, but you know what? Nobody ever promised us a rose garden, you know?
No, that's right.
You know, I mean, we're told in the scriptures that you know, in this world there will be trouble. In this world there will be tribulation. It's gonna happen. It's not gonna all be fun and roses. You gotta work, you know, and there's gonna be pain, but ultimately we're gonna get through it. And like you said, it's gonna be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So I want to thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Sam.
no way.